Scrolling TikTok for 3 hours? Easy. Studying for 30 minutes? Torture. I'm about to show you the Navy SEAL mental framework that forces your brain to obey you, backed by neuroscience. By the end, you'll have 5 brain hacks to stop procrastinating, start acting, and build unshakable discipline. And in part 5, I'll show you the one technique that takes just 5 seconds to override your brain's resistance. Let's fix your brain. Part 1. Understanding why your brain resists. Your brain has one job: survival, not success. It evolved to keep you safe, not to make you thrive. That means anything that feels uncertain, risky, or energy demanding, your brain interprets as danger. Starting a business? Too risky. Cold shower? Too uncomfortable. Deep work session? Too much effort. So your brain activates what psychologists call the avoidance loop, the system that nudges you back to comfort, food, social media, scrolling, or sleep. It's not that you're lazy, it's that your brain is overprotective. But here's the good news. Your brain is trainable. It adapts to what you consistently do. So if you teach it that discomfort is safe, it stops fighting you, and that's where discipline begins. Part 2. The 2 brains inside you. Inside you, there are 2 brains constantly at war. The first is the primitive brain, or the limbic system. It wants instant gratification, comfort, pleasure, and safety. The second is the prefrontal cortex, your rational, evolved brain. It wants growth, discipline, and long-term reward. When you say, "I'll wake up at 5 a.m., that's your prefrontal cortex talking. When you hit snooze, that's your limbic system winning. The secret is learning to override the primitive brain using mental friction and structure. Because discipline isn't about motivation, it's about who's in charge, the emotional you or the rational you. Your goal is to build a system that makes your prefrontal cortex the decision maker, not your impulses. Part 3, the dopamine trap. Let's talk about dopamine, the molecule of motivation. Most people misunderstand it. Dopamine doesn't just give you pleasure, it gives you drive. But modern life has hijacked it. Your phone, social media, junk food, they give you cheap dopamine hits for doing nothing. Here's the scary part. Studies show the average person checks their phone 96 times per day. That's once every 10 minutes your brain gets a dopamine hit for doing absolutely nothing. And when your brain gets used to that, hard things like studying or building something stop feeling rewarding. The solution? Dopamine detox. That means reducing instant rewards, no mindless scrolling, no endless YouTube rabbit holes. Instead, make your dopamine come from effort, not escape. Start small. Finish a task, take a cold shower, or sit through discomfort. Each time you do, your brain learns. Doing hard things equals reward. That's how you rebuild motivation from the inside out. Part 4. Action tactics. The 5-second rule in lowering resistance. Now let's make this practical. When you feel resistance, that hesitation before doing something hard, you have a 5-second window before your brain talks you out of it. In those 5 seconds, act. Count backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. That countdown interrupts your limbic system and hands control back to your prefrontal cortex. It sounds simple, but it works because it shifts you from thinking to doing. The first few seconds are the hardest. After that, your momentum takes over. Action before emotion, motion before motivation. Quick question. Have you ever used a countdown to force yourself into action? Comment below and let me know. Now here's the second tactic. Lower the activation barrier. Your brain hates starting, but once you start, it's easy to keep going. So instead of saying, "I'll write for an hour," say, "I'll write 1 sentence." Instead of, "I'll go to the gym," say, "I'll put on my shoes." This small shift bypasses resistance. Once you start, your brain releases dopamine, rewarding the act of progress itself. That's how you trick your brain into momentum. Because the hardest part of doing hard things isn't doing them, it's starting them. Part 5. Building the discomfort muscle. Discipline is like a muscle. It grows through resistance. Every time you do something uncomfortable, you're strengthening your discomfort tolerance. So how do you train it? Start with micro challenges. Finish a boring task without checking your phone. Walk when you'd rather drive. Say no to an easy escape. Each act of discomfort sends a message, "I can handle this." Now here's where it gets interesting. Every time you do something uncomfortable, you're literally rewiring your neural pathways. Your brain is physically changing. Over time, your comfort zone expands. What was once hard becomes normal. And here's the key. You don't have to enjoy discomfort. You just have to stop running from it. Because the more you chase comfort, the weaker you become. The more you face discomfort, the stronger you grow. Part 6. Identity over willpower. Remember that limbic system we talked about? This is how you finally shut it down. Most people rely on willpower, and that's why they fail. Willpower is like a battery, it drains, but identity is endless. Stop saying, I'm trying to be disciplined. Start saying, I'm the kind of person who does what's hard. Identity shifts behavior. If you identify as a disciplined person, skipping your routine feels out of character. David Goggins doesn't say, I'm trying to run 100 miles. He says, I'm the kind of person who runs 100 miles. See the difference? One is a goal, the other is identity. And identity always wins. That's how elite athletes, soldiers, and entrepreneurs stay consistent. They don't rely on feelings. They act in alignment with who they believe they are. Repeat to yourself daily, I do hard things. I finish what I start. Over time, your brain aligns your actions to match your words. That's neural reprogramming in real time. Part 7. The power of systems. Motivation fades, systems don't. A system is simply a structure that makes hard things automatic. Want to study more? Set a fixed time and trigger. Same place, same hour, no negotiation. Want to work out? Lay out your clothes the night before. Want to build a habit? Pair it with an existing one. That's called habit stacking. For example, after brushing teeth, read 10 pages. After morning coffee, work for 30 minutes. When you remove decision-making, you remove friction. And when you remove friction, hard things become normal things. Remember, you don't rise to your goals. You fall to your systems. Build the system. Trust the system. Let the system carry you when motivation fails. Every person you admire, the athletes, creators, leaders, they all have one thing in common. They've learned to make their brain obey them. They don't wait for motivation. They create it through action. You can do the same. Remember this. Your brain's job is to protect you. Your job is to lead it. Discomfort is the price of growth. Action comes before motivation. Identity comes before consistency. If you do what's easy, your life will be hard. If you do what's hard, your life will become easy. Right now, pick one hard thing you've been avoiding. Just one. Do it in the next 5 minutes. Then come back and comment below what it was, because accountability turns intention into action. And if this video helped you understand how your brain works, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. Because the moment you force your brain to do hard things, you stop being controlled by it, and you become unstoppable. Let's build that discipline together. See you in the next one.